Game of Thrones Season 3, and I'm ready. Today I'm starting with Season 4, I think, and it's I'm excited. It really starts to get me more and more excited for every season and every episode. But I have to say that Season 3 is not a very strong season. It's very... I would say Season 2 was by now the strongest season, then Season 3, and then Season 1. So I don't think that Season 3 is a better season than Season 1. Season 2. There are some good episodes, but in general, reviewing it as a whole, I didn't like it that much as Season 2. First 2 episodes were so boring. You know, I was sitting there like, can it please be over? It felt very long, and that's not a good sign for an episode, because the good episodes go by very fast, and you realize that very fast that an episode is really feeling good, and you're really enjoying it. But the first 2 episodes of Season 3 were a roller coaster ride, let's say it like that, because, you know, there were some great things and some horrible things, and yeah. All in all, kind of boring the first few episodes. I can't remember what it really was about. It just happened, you know. Talking about the characters in Season 3, you know, that's gonna be a tough one. Season 3. So, Daenerys still has not enough screen time. Like, seriously. Give her more, please. But I like that the dragons are bigger and more grown up, and I like the way they look, and I'm very excited to see them grow up even more and become like real big dragons who can conquer the world. Please. Like, as I said in the last 2 reviews of Season 1 and Season 3, Daenerys is my favorite character, and I'm most interested in her story arc, and in her motivations, and in her everything. Everything is great. So she gets an army in this season, and another army. So she's expanding her army. She doesn't have an army. She has 5 people or something. She is expanding these 5 people to a number of 8,000 people. When she made that deal, like, you get 1 dragon and I get 8,000 people. And then it was clear, I think, for me it was clear that that dragon is her favorite. Like, that black red dragon is her favorite because it's seen the most. So it was clear that when she was giving him the dragon, that the dragon would do whatever Daenerys says, and that she would get the dragon back at the end of this episode or something. But she immediately just killed that guy. It was so great. And then there was this whole, like, epicness in the way that she freed everybody and was like, you can stay, but you can also go. Like, do what you want to do. And everybody stayed with her, and it was, oh my god, it felt so good. And I was like, yeah, Daenerys, you are doing good, and please keep on going like that, because it's great. I can't remember many things from this season. One thing I remember is that Jaime Lannister was freed by Brienne of Tarth, who got the task by Lady Stark. So, watching Brienne and Jaime go to King's Landing, it was so funny. Because, I don't know, it was comedic in a way, but at the same time tragic, because you learn a lot about Jaime and a lot about Brienne. So you get to know these characters a little bit more, which is, especially in Brienne's case, which is very important because you don't know much about the character so far. So we get to know them a little bit better. Jaime, I mean, he's still an asshole, but I liked him. I kind of liked Jaime in the whole time when they were just, like, going to King's Landing and just going through the whole country, and yeah. It was cool. It was cool watching them. And like I said, very comedic in some ways. Because Jaime's he's very ironic. No, not ironic. He uses a lot of sarcasm. You know, I never know the difference between sarcasm and irony, you know, it's very similar to me. Whatever. He's very sarcastic, and I like that. So he made a lot of jokes about Brienne, and Brienne was like, "Meh, meh, meh." But I like that about her. She's a great character, as is Jaime. And I never thought that I would say that, but he is. He's a great character. And I like his look even more with the long hair and the beard. And when he lost his hand, like, that was a shock moment. I was sitting there, and he got cut off his hand, and he went, and it was kind of cruel. It was very cruel. Like, having him riding on his horse without a right hand, falling off the horse. Again, funny. You shouldn't laugh at that because, you know, it's not something great, just having one arm. But, I mean, he's a character that you have to laugh at, because he's a character who started in season 1 as this, I am the big boss, and I'm so powerful, and I have all of the money, and my life is perfect, and I have the power over you. So, it's very tragic, but you're laughing at him because he deserves it in a way, because he treated everybody so badly in the first season. I was not a big fan of Robb Stark marrying that girl, whose name I don't know right now. Not a big fan of that, but, you know, it just happened, and at the end of the season, you know, for me, it turned out in a great way, because I didn't like it. Tyrion marrying Sansa. It's just like the, you know, when, oh my god. It's Natalie Dormer's character. I don't know her name. When it was announced that she's going to marry Joffrey, you know, I was like, oh girl, you're going to regret it very, very fast. But it's very, I say it again, interesting. It's very interesting. And she's like, yeah, I know that he's a monster, and I know that he's not a good person, but I have to marry him so I can be powerful. Like for Sansa, it was not about power. For her, it was about being a good wife and giving birth to sons and just doing what I'm supposed to do as a woman. And Natalie Dormer is... I feel bad when I say Natalie Dormer is all about power. Especially her grandma or mother, I think. I love her. She's so funny, and she just says whatever she thinks, and just does not care about anything. At the wedding of Tyrion and Sansa, she's sitting there on the table and is like, yeah, that's going to be your uncle, or your grandmother, or your stepfather, or something like that. So it was, she's a funny character, but not in the way of that she's trying to be funny, or is supposed to be a funny character, but by everything she says, and by the way she pronounces everything and is stressing words and stuff like that, it just seems very funny. I have to remember what happened to Arya in this season. So Arya is with the bastard of Robert. They are on the run, and they meet that group of, I don't know what they are, they're just a group of people. And they're with them for a time, and then the Red Lady comes and is buying, you know, I think it was a deal, but whatever. The bastard, because she needed his blood. That's just so confusing, everything with her, and she's so fucking creepy. Like, I can see it in the flames, your victory, and blah blah blah, and I'm trying to seduce him, but then I'm going to take his blood, and then we're going to throw them into the fire, and everyone is dying. Like, what the fuck is going on, lady? Get some help! She's on the run with the Hound, and they're going to the wedding. But I'm skipping a few things. Whatever. They're going to the wedding of that guy from Robert's camp. What have I skipped? Tywin. He's an asshole. You know, the last season I really liked him, and I was like, yeah, I really like him, and he's kind of like a father figure for Arya and stuff like that. And now I just hate him. Why is he arranging these weddings for Tyrion and for Cersei? I did talk about Bran. I think Bran. I didn't talk about him. He has these visions all the time, and it's interesting. With the what's the bird's name? And he meets this boy and his sister. I like him, I think, the boy. Jojen Reed. I really like Jojen Reed. Not really, but I kind of like him, but at the same time, I'm very curious because I think that he's up to something. He doesn't seem very trustworthy, so I have to be careful. But by season 3, I have not watched season 4 by now, so I can't spoil anything for myself right now in this video. But by season 3, by the end of season 3, he is... I don't trust him fully. Yeah. Something really... I mean, that Bran is a warg? Warg? Is that what it's called in English? I hope. Is very cool. But then there was the wedding. And the wedding was fine at the beginning, but then it got very mysterious, and I was very suspicious. And I was like, no. It's way too happy right now. You know, the girl, Rob's wife was pregnant, and I told my brother she's going to die sooner or later, because happy ending is not what this series is known for. Like, happy ending, if in every show or movie that sacrifices characters in some way or another, when they introduce family, or introduce a loved one, or somebody is pregnant or happy, I mean, best example, Avengers Endgame. Like, when these characters have loved ones, and they really go deep into that relation, like, I would say 9 times out of 10, the person dies. Because I thought, yeah, they can't kill off Rob. And then they killed off everybody. Like, everybody. And they were shooting from the thing. They were shooting down the balcony, like, into the hall, and, you know, Lady Stark, she saw it, Caitlyn, she saw it coming. And it was such... I was in shock. It was such... not an emotional, but a really shocking scene with a lot of impact. And I was sitting there like, no, what, no. Then Rob died, the lady died at first, and I was like, yeah, I knew it, I told you. And then Rob died, or got shot several times, and Lady Stark was, you know, she was hiding under the table, and I was like, yeah, she survives, because I like her. She's a cool character, a very fierce character, and I was really rooting for her to survive. And then she was standing up like, I'm going to kill your wife, daughter, whatever, I think it's the same, if you don't let my son survive. And, well, he didn't care, so he killed him. Then she killed the daughter, or the wife, and I was like, oh my god, everything is happening so fast, and you can't, like, seriously, you can't keep up with everything, and it's just, everything is happening. And then I was like, yeah, she survived. She please let her survive. And then they killed her, and she died, and Arya was almost there, but then they killed the wolf, and oh my god. You know, it's, again, not the last episode, not the season finale, it's the 9th episode. And I think the 9th episode is going to keep on... That's not a sentence. It's part of medieval culture and the Middle Ages, like all of that sex stuff and blah blah blah. I get it. But it's not needed to, it's not necessary to show all of this, because there are some scenes where I think it's just like really unnecessary, but they're just scenes that start off with a sex scene and then they're talking. Like, you can just have them talk, you don't have to show them having sex before that. That's not important. I think I really love every location by its colors, and that's fantastic world building and fantastic cinematography and color grading and stuff like that. Because you have the north, which is very cold and very white and bluish, like behind the wall. and then you get a little more south, more like Winterfell is still very grey and very cold, but a little bit warmer, not that bluish, blending into each other. All those colors are blending into each other when you go more and more south, and that's so interesting, and I love it. It's great. It really, you can, by the first shot you see of a scene, you can say where it is or where it is located, and that's great, and I love it. It's so cool. And that you don't have to blend, that you don't have to use title cards like King's Landing, Winterfell. No, you don't have to do that, because you know, still, you know, after a few episodes in season 1, you know where you are and where it is located and everything. I'm using my hands very much, I think. You realize that, I think. Yeah, thank you, bye. Allemaal goed is.